friends who do us, getting into us once more. Believes we all be together if the fates allow. And you shine stars from the highest cloud. And have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
All right.
Happy Sunday, everybody.
Good morning. So first, I got to say, Larry, I'm loud, like really loud.
It's the Christmas voice.
It's the Darth Vader voice. Much better, much better. Good. So I was going to say that Larry and Kara look like they just stepped off an Aloha Airlines plane to come here today. There she is in flip-flops, and he's in an Aloha shirt.
Or a Lee Coulter concert.
Or a Lee Coulter concert, exactly. Yeah, hope springs eternal. So hello, everybody, and happy solstice. Here we are, the longest night, the shortest day. What a magical day, and I'm so glad that you're spending it with me. I still sound very cavernous. Yeah, somewhat there. We're good. It's a new mic. I'm so excited. It's a hands-free mic. I used to have one of those ones that had the little thing on the ear, and I couldn't do that because it's, as I say, my excuse for everything these days is unmedicated ADD. You know, it was just kind of there. Anyway, so happy solstice. It is the fourth Sunday of Advent, so all kinds of good stuff. And we got some things happening. So first of all, I want to extend an invitation to each and every one of you to our Christmas Eve service this coming Wednesday at 6:30. Very excited about that. Christmas Eve is always interesting and fun, and I'm very excited about this one, and I'm not reading George Orwell this year. So yes, and bring food, bring light finger food, for nothing like a carving station or anything like that, just a little something so we can have a little something after service to balance ourselves out there, and bring an umbrella because apparently it's going to rain. So we got that going on. Let's see what else we got. And then the following Sunday, which is the 28th, we have a tradition every year, which is that Craig Losey does a poetry service. And so that will be Sunday the 28th. So that's always a exciting and beautiful service. And I don't think we got much else going on. We get special music, we're embracing the light, embracing the light, but then well-being and the Tao. Now, aren't you going to be gone for January? Yeah. Oh, you may. Yeah, come sit in my pocket.
Wouldn't that be an interesting sight?
Oh yeah, we're a lot of things at this church, but we're not that. Meaning getting in each other's pockets. You know.
Yeah, so the Wellbeing and the Tao will be on hold as far as the online classes until February. But if you're interested in continuing with the online version, that happens on Friday mornings via Zoom. And if you want to connect for that, you can go to kinship.cafe as a website. And there's a link for the community, and you can get set up there.
Mm-hmm. I'm starting to read your book. I'm enjoying it very much. You are an excellent writer. Let's see what else. Open Mind Gift Shop. If you want any kind of holiday shopping, this is the time to do it. There's some really cool stuff in there, and there's some new stuff came through. So by all means, take advantage of that. Anything else I need to know? I think that's it for announcements. Office will be closed this week. We'll be open on Tuesday, but then we're closed for the rest of the week after that. Okay, so our question of the day. I love this, holiday sweaters. Nothing like them. I love them. And ears and all that other kind of stuff. Yeah, loving it. So. Anyway, so our question of the day. Our question of the day is Is there anything that you are holding hope for in the coming year? And my idea of hope that I'm kind of working with now is hope is an active affirmation that things don't need to remain the same. So if you consider this, that things don't need an active engagement in how things don't need to remain the same. Is there anything that you are hoping for? And we'll go to Jim. You don't have one today. Okay. Good.
All right. So I thought about this one, and I thought, for me, it's finding the courage to help the notion of introspection be more valuable for myself and others, and find the courage to do that, because it takes courage. So courage for 2026.
Fabulous. Okay. How about you, Paul?
So, what was the question again?
What are you hoping for this coming year? 2026. Do you have hope?
Okay.
for anything?
Yes. So
Particular?
I hope that there's a new imagination that comes forth within our society, and that there's an inclusion where everyone's included, and that there is a new imagination where things happen for the benefit of the planet Earth and for everyone that lives on the planet Earth.
That's a beautiful one. Fabulous. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? All right. We're going right down the line here.
I hope for a better change in our government. I'll appease everybody.
Okay.
Well, there's so many things, but I would say what comes to mind is peace. And how do we get peace within ourselves first? Energetically, that goes out to peace for everyone in our our towns, our cities, our states, our country, our world, and love. That love prevails over fear. And that is an inside job first with all of it, and that goes out.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, Chris.
I ditto Liz's. But also, this is Christmas, the time of the Prince of Peace, and I think I never hear anybody say that anymore, the Prince of Peace. But peace is what is the name of the game, and I believe in it, and I'd love to see a lot more of it.
All right. Peace. Anyone else?
I'd like to see us be able to return to proactive and active conversations without any kind of anger driving the conversations.
Beautiful. Proactive and active conversation. A safe place to talk. Yes. All right.
Well, in the middle of this coming year, I'm planning on spending some time in Europe, and my main hope is that there isn't a whole bunch of nasty war going on at the time.
So hopefully, yeah, the cessation of war, of peace. All right. Yes. Absolutely. Anyone else?
This last week, I watched It's a Wonderful Life.
Mm-hmm.
And I suggest anybody watch that. It shows truly the hope that I have for people coming together because they know each other, they care about each other.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Love it. Anyone else? Anyone else? Andrea's got her hand up. All right.
Actually, I'm studying what the 6 perfections. Oh my, generosity, patience, morality, joyous effort, concentration, and wisdom. Anyway, I watched Groundhog Day. It was so, you weren't home, you didn't, I know.
Yes.
It was so fun because I
love
watched
that
it
movie.
before, but I don't think I was like, I don't know, maybe I slept through it. But it was really like, wow, isn't that meaningful?
Mhm.
It's so meaningful. So I want to live like Groundhog Day, man.
I heard someone explain that movie as a better Scrooge movie than Scrooged. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah. Susie's right next to you there.
Well, I wasn't going to say anything because since we're talking about movies, last night Bob and I watched Stand By Me in recognition of Rob Reiner. Don't make me
Oh.
cry.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys were just babies. Joaquin Phoenix. Yeah. Fabulous movie. Anyone else? Hey, Brett, why does it feel like we should all just kind of go and grab some coffee and sit around and chat? Is it me? But it just kind of feels like we're going to be loose today. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, Paul, let's go for it.
Awesome. So with that, let us just simply just really acknowledge all the beautiful expressions and energy that is being poured forth in this room right now between all of us. And that's why I love coming here to Hilltop Spiritual Center, because it allows us all to really hear each other and listen to each other from a place of heart. And on this beautiful day, this winter solstice, where we celebrate the sun in our lives, one of the coolest things about that is what the sun represents. And in a lot of ways, and especially in the ancient times, the lion is representative of the sun. And then it goes deeper, is the lion and the consciousness that is within. So now that we're going to be seeing more sunlight, we can now really put that together and align it with that conscious reality that we all share in this place, in our communities, and everywhere we go. We have that opportunity to really bring forth that greater light and wisdom that we all have. And so with that, let us simply pray. And if you like, you can close your eyes or just simply allow yourself to feel and to take in everything that is going on right now. And as we know, there is a lot going on. There's the breathing that is taking place. There's the sensations. There could be thoughts that are arising in our minds about what we're going to do. Let us just simply just allow us to concentrate and to orient to our experience that is happening here now, this lovely experience at the Hilltop Spiritual Center. And for every one of you that are watching now, or even next week or 2 months from now, just know that there's that expression of love that is everywhere as a light that is illuminating all things right now. And we experience this moment as an opportunity to go forth into a deeper experience of that which is. The unnameable, the knowing presence, the deep essence, nature, by which we experience and see happening all around us. It is consciousness. It is life as we know it. And it is here now as love. And so that expression of love is here in this moment, and it simply pours forth. And may this service be that expression of love in all ways as we commune together, as we hear the sounds and the rhythmic process that is music and the expression of each and every word that is spoken forth by our beloved Reverend Dr. Guy, and everyone here today in our deepening awareness of relationship with all that is, I know that in truth, there is an all abiding presence, and all I need to do is renunciate to that. And so, with that, I release and let this prayer go forth into that divine presence, calling it forth into being by letting it be so, and so it is.
So it is.
And here is the reading for this Sunday, winter solstice, December 21st, 2025. Sink down, sink down, sink deeper and more deep to take the eternal and primordial leap. Sink down, be still, awaken and draw apart. Sink into the inner earth's most secret heart. Drink of the waters of Persephone, the secret well beside the sacred tree. Waters of life and strength and inner light. Eternal joy drawn from the depths of the night. Then rise, made strong with life and hope renewed, reborn from darkness and from solitude. Dion Fortune from her work, The Sea Priestess. Let us now contemplate that and just sit for a brief period here and allow ourselves to sink in. with love and light, and so it is.
So it is.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you'll see. Oh, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. If that sky that we look upon should crumble and fall, and the mountain should tumble to the sea, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. And the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light you see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, won't you stand by me? Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by me. Stand by me. Thanks, everybody. Please welcome Reverend Dr. Guy Williams. And give it up one more time for Jim Jones as well.
So I realized three things. I still feel really loud. Yeah. There's a reverb kind of thing there. Yeah. So let's see. I have a new mic, and of course it's falling out, so it's in my pocket. But we'll see how this goes to get to me down here. So I realized there was three things that I wanted to say at the very beginning. So before I start my talk, I'm just going to do these three things. First of all, Paul was quoting Dion Fortune this morning. That's a new one, and I like that a lot. Dion Fortune is an old physical war horse, and I love her stuff dearly. Kind of cut my teeth on her. Second thing is I forgot to greet the people in the video world, and particularly Denise Prawl. Hello, Denise. Denise sent me a video this morning of a dog that was like terribly misbehaving. And it was like, and it really reminded me of my dog Baloo, because it was him rolling in the mud and the dirt. And so anyway, thank you for that, and hello to everybody out there, the virtual thing. And then the third thing that I wanted to say before I forget is generally New Thought centers like ours, in January, we sort of do the basics. We kind of go back to basics, but I'm thinking I want to get even more basic than the basics. And so in January, I'm going to be doing a series of talks on virtue. Cicero says something to the effect that a civilization falls when the people no longer practice virtue. And I kind of see, spirituality is what we feel, religion is what we do. And it's about how we live a virtuous life. We had an incident in our neighborhood this week, and I won't get into the details of it, but it would be really easy to respond to it from a feeling level. And yet wisdom dictates that we respond from a virtuous level, which is a very different kind of thing. And sometimes it's a little bit more challenging, a little bit more difficult to do something like that. But that's where we stand by each other, right? That's where we as a community encourage each other and support each other to what that means to be living virtuously. So these were my thoughts this morning as I was sitting in the hot tub, but I had this, two things happened to me in the hot tub this morning. The first was, it was just before sunrise. It was that kind of opaque, little bit light blue, pinkish color, and no higher than the ceiling. This blue heron flew right over. It was just like so cool. But the other thing is that there's a series of trees around where I live, or where the hot tub is, that I can see. There's a crepe myrtle very, very close to where it is, and then across, I can look across the house and I can see our neighbor has 2 Modesto ashes like ours. And in the early morning light, what I saw with these is the leaves are all gone. So you see kind of the bare tree effect, which is of course is winter and absolutely appropriate for the winter solstice. But I realized, I can almost tell time by those trees. I know the season by simply watching them and observing those. You can kind of see this this procession of where things are. And here we are at the winter solstice. And a perfect symbol for me is this idea of a tree that has dropped its leaves as it's ready for something else. And Rudolf Steiner, who was a mystic, a seer, and an interesting teacher, talked about the winter solstice as sort of, if we imagine at this hemisphere that the earth has inhaled fully. It's kind of like the pause of breath, where the earth is very much itself. It's very alive in the unseen. If you think of all the elemental beings inside the earth, and it's very active, even though this tree doesn't have any of the leaves that you can see, what I know is that there's a life force that is very, very deep and very, very powerful, kind of like us, and I think about this a lot because this time of year is really encouraging us to sort of recalibrate and take that pause. And yet we live in a culture that wants to push it and push it and push it, more of this and more of that and more of that. But really, if we were to follow our rhythm, what we would see is that we kind of want to rest, we want to disconnect, take the wheel off the cart, so to speak, and just sort of look at that. And it's that idea of what it means to live a symbolic life. Because, things have meaning based on the perception that we hold about them. So I was having a conversation this week because I was with Andrea, and I was actually putting a belt on a pair of pants because I was going to wear those pair of pants, and I was putting the belt on. We had this conversation about belts, and it got me thinking about people that I knew growing up, where if the parent was taking the belt off, it meant something negative was going to happen. Right. And now that never happened to me, and I've never done that. But you can tell that something like that triggers something, right? You see something, and because you have a past experience of what that is, it's as simple as, I think I'm going to wear the brown belt today. That's my thinking. But someone else could see something like this, and they're going to create a whole other kind of thing, because a couple things about that. One is, if there is aversion to something, there's a really good chance, if you scratch a little bit beneath the surface, you're going to find a trauma there that gets triggered by the thing itself. And it's something for us to kind of see. The mind was built for survival, not truth. And so sometimes the mind feeds something to us because it's at a survival mode. It's trying to figure out how we get from here to there and stay alive in it. So I was thinking about this, and I thought about this quote from Bertrand Russell that I like in my less virtuous moments, but I kind of want to deconstruct it just a little bit. Bertrand Russell writes this. He says, "A stupid man's report of what a clever man says can never be accurate, because he unconsciously translates what he hears into something that he can understand." Right? But I want to kind of deconstruct that just a little bit more, and maybe not use the word stupid, but maybe say something like a traumatized person's report of what an untraumatized or a regular person says can never be accurate, because they are unconsciously translating it to hear something that they can understand. Because the perception that we have is based on the experiences that we hold and the story we tell ourselves about what that is. And so no matter what, I can't tell you the times that I have spoken here and someone has come up to me and said, "Boy, I really appreciated when you said this." And I thank him graciously and I walk around and say, "I never said that." But it's what someone heard based on how we perceive. And I say that because there's a lot of energy this time of year with all the festivals. It's interesting that so many, basically all cultures, I would imagine, have festivals or recognition around this time of year. Tonight is the last night of Hanukkah. Today is also known as Yalda in the Persianate culture. It's the fourth Sunday of Advent, getting ready for Christmas Eve. There's all these, pagans do things, solstice and all that other kind of stuff. There's all these celebrations of light. And yet sometimes we're not capable of getting into the experience of what is here, because the symbol of them triggers some old ancient trauma within us that restricts us from it. We start thinking about the religions themselves, the outward expressions of things, or the cultural kinds of things, or even the very personal things of what happens, And so sometimes the ability to celebrate, the ability to find hope is stifled because of the imagination that we're holding about something that limits it because of how our perception influences our imagination. You with me on this one? So Wayne Dyer says this way, he said, "Your imagination creates the inner picture that allows you to participate in the act of creation. It's the invisible connecting link between manifesting your own destiny." In other words, a simple way to put it is what my teacher used to say. She used to say that the imagination lays the tracks for the reality train to follow. We begin to build the experience that we are having in this life based on our imagination of how things are. And our imagination is flavored by our perception from events that have happened to us and the story that we continue telling ourselves about that story. Something that the Buddhists teach, which I think is really kind of interesting, is they offer this idea that we are often addicted to our suffering. Because if we take the suffering away, we don't know who we are. Because we identify ourselves so much with the wound or the suffering that we would have to reimagine our entire life without it. And by the way, that's the point. That is the point. And sometimes then we can sort of jumpstart these things by allowing ourselves to use the energy, the symbolic quality of the time to begin to recalibrate what those kinds of things are. What I love about this time of year, it's kind of interesting because it reminds me to me, when I think about the solstice, I often think of like the Two of Pentacles. And I don't know if you guys know that card in the tarot, but it's a guy that is balancing two pentacles, and there's a loop that you see that's a lemniscate. And that kind of looks like that wheel kind of thing, kind of looks like the solstice in a sense that we are today at like the furthest length of the tether of light and darkness. You know, there's this pause. Solstice literally means to pause. And in the ancient world, in the Roman calendar, they had what was known as a Saturnalia. You know, it's like, yeah, these days are kind of off the calendar. They're an in-between time. But there's something about if we just practice that in our imagination of what does it mean to kind of live in a liminal space, and maybe allowing the festivals, the energy, the contrast between light and dark, and all those kinds of things, using this liminal time then to sort of recalibrate. Richard Rohr says it this way. He says, it's when we are betwixt and between. We have left one room, but haven't yet entered the next room. Any hiatus between stages of life, faith, jobs, love, or relationships, it is that grace time when we are not certain or in control. When something generally new can happen, it is the ultimate teachable space. And what I know is for many of us in this community, we're in these in-between times. You know, it's a time that almost feels somewhat unsettling because it's not this, but it's not that. We're completing something here, but we haven't engaged in something yet. And so we're in this kind of, you know, balancing kind of what's going on. But maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the energy of the season, with not so much, you know, what do I need to do? Because that's kind of our culture is always telling us we're not doing something, we're not being productive and being good members of society. But maybe sometimes, as the I Ching says, we take a tactical retreat to sort of recalibrate. And so if you are personally feeling that sense of in between or betwixt and between, it's not this, it's not that kind of thing, you know, it could be that this is your first Christmas that's very different from any other Christmas you've had, or solstice, or whatever the case may be, that we can appreciate that as this is a very teachable time. It's an invitation to reinvent or recalibrate the story that we told ourselves and how we do it. And what I would offer is that probably the most important thing that we can practice now is discernment, asking ourselves, what is mine to do and what isn't mine to do? Joanne Macy, who's a great Buddhist teacher, said it this way. She says, you don't need to do everything. Do what calls your heart. Effective action comes from love. It is unstoppable and it's enough. So the question then becomes, what do I love? Because in reality, I become the thing that I love. There's this old metaphysical teaching that actually comes from a character by the name of Giordano Bruno. And he talks about when I sit in the shadow of the tree, I am able to enjoy its fruits. Meaning if I am in the presence of the thing that I love, then I begin to breathe in, collect, have, and taste the sweetness of the thing that I love. You know, you've heard me say this often, but we become the thing that we love. And so if we're thinking in this world, and it's so easy to get distracted in this world, it is so easy. And, you know, it's kind of like that feels making you a little bit, you know, is it the climate? Is it the political theater? Is it the economy? Is it the relationships or job? Whatever the case may be, whatever that kind of thing is, what is the thing that you love? And let the rest go. Let it go. Because what would our life be like if where our energy was simply directed to the things that we love? And if you love whatever the case may be, that's where we give our heart, and that's where we give our energy. But like I've been saying, that can be a challenge because we're barraged by an entity, forces, principalities that are constantly wanting to influence our attention and are demanding this or that or the other thing. And so for us to practice that sense of discernment, maybe there are things that we can be doing this time of year to sort of open ourselves to recalibrate that. So as much as I hate giving 5 simple lessons of this or 60 things to do that, I'm going to give you 8 spiritual principles for this time of year during the holidays. But they're fun. They're fun. So the first one is clean out, and I'm speaking to myself, by the way, and my beloved will attest to this first one. Clean out any spaces that hold old energy. So while you are just kind of hanging out for the holidays, it's a really good time to go through closets, drawers, garages, notebooks, any of that all kind of stuff, and see the things that just simply are holding old energy, because that old energy is draining us. It's a siphon, and it's pulling that psychic creative energy away. So clean it out, give it away, throw it away, do whatever you need to do with it, but clean out old spaces that hold energy. Next thing to do is to journal what you've learned this year. Take some time and to simply ask the question. By the way, if you want these things, send me an email. I'll send them to you. But I can also send you this great journal exercise that I've been doing from Carolyn Mace for the last 7 years that has these questions to ask yourself, to journal about what you've learned this year. What can you take with you going into the year that says, yeah, this year was this and that and the other thing. However, this is what I've learned. The third thing is to release grudges you no longer want to carry. What a burden they are. How powerful it would be if we could forgive everyone, no exceptions, going into the first of the year, unburdened by the grudges that we carry. Here's a good one. Spend time alone to hear your inner voice. Because again, there's plenty of distraction. But take a walk, hang out by yourself, say no to one event, and maybe even unplug from the television or whatever the case may be, and just hang out and spend some time alone. And to hear your inner voice. Thank your past self for surviving the hard days. This has been a tough year for almost everyone. And you owe yourself a world of gratitude for being here today and having survived, thrived, done whatever the case may be. Thank yourself for having done that. Meditate on what you want more of. And again, it goes back to this idea of fall in love with something and contemplate that and let the energy of that bring you the fruits that will manifest. I don't often do this, but I'm just going to throw it out there for some people that like to do this. I'm a little bit more dramatic than simply this, but burn a list of things you are ready to leave behind. Burn a list of things that you are ready to leave behind. Actually, I think dig a hole in the ground and compost it. Let it go back to the earth and let the nutrients be absorbed back again so that it can recreate what it is. And this is the most important one for all of us. Forgive yourself for the moments that you didn't know better. Forgive yourself for the moments you didn't know better. Because sometimes we thought this was a great idea, and then in hindsight we learned, it wasn't such a great idea. And to learn to forgive ourselves so that we are not constantly carrying the burden of making ourselves wrong for something when we simply didn't have enough information, or it was our highest wisdom at the moment, but it no longer is in of what is new. So that is our spiritual practice during what's known as the Holy Nights of the Saturnalia, or whatever you want to call it, is to journal what you've learned this year, clean out spaces that hold old energy, release grudges you no longer want to carry, spend time alone to hear your inner voice, thank your past self for surviving the hard days, meditate on what you want more of, burn or bury a list of things you're ready to leave behind, and most important, forgive yourself for the moments you didn't know any better. When we can practice these, we have a clear idea of what we love. When we have a clear idea of what we love, we can focus our energy and our imagination on that and begin to create that. We become unstoppable in it. And our perception changes, our imagination changes, and the experience we have in this life is new. Happy solstice.
It's a glorious day on the planet I love. Let me tell you what I'm thinking of. 'Cause I've been wondering why it was, but it's just life doing what it does. We keep trying to mess it up, they keep trying to bring us down. So I'm just gonna sing to everyone around, 'cause I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. And it's a glorious day on the planet I love. Don't tell me about someday, somehow, 'cause all we need is right here, right now. I got some rhythm and I got some rhyme. I got my music and I got my mind. We were singing in circles in prison in the past. So I'm just gonna be till we're free at last. 'Cause I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. And it's a glorious day on the planet I love. Oh yeah. 'Cause there's children playing somewhere. How's life on Jupiter? I don't care. Oh no, 'cause we've got Walter just barking there. Oh yeah. Well, I'm no hero, I'm not brave. I'm just tired of being afraid. 'Cause I've been wondering why it was, but it's just life doing what it does. And I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. We've got to rise above that old push and shove. 'Cause I've got earth beneath my feet and the sky above. And it's a glorious day on the planet I love. Oh, 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 such a glorious day. Yeah. Oh, 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 it's such a glorious day. Yeah. Oh, 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 it's a glorious day. Who let the dogs out? It's a glorious day on the planet I love. It's a glorious day on the planet I love. It's a glorious day on this here sweet planet that we love. True story. I want to give a quick shout out to Matt. Matt showed me this morning that he's my #1 online listener in the whole world. So thank you to Matt. That one's for him.
Right on. That was a cool visual too. Although it's not very different than what it was.
Awesome. Very, very inspiring talk today. Music, just amazing. And again, I really want to, stress how this is just a beautiful place to be in, and we really have something very special here. And we get a time to hear each other and to express ourselves. And that's what it's all about, right? It's about really sharing our gifts. And this is a beautiful opportunity to do so in our time of conscious giving. And we share without any return. We just know that by giving from our heart and knowing that we are giving and supporting this beautiful place that keeps giving back, it just makes it all the worthwhile. So if you are giving today, whether it's with a prayer, a smile, a hug, or even in a monetary way, let us simply pray over that by going deep within ourselves. You can put your hands to your heart, which I love. I love feeling that sensation of my hand over my heart. It's so nice. And the ability to just give, knowing that we're giving from a source of plenty, because we connect with that divine presence, that divine love. And so what I know is that this gift goes forth to beauty, to love, to sharing, community, to music, to insights, to guidance, to love, to peace, and to joy. And with this gift, I know that it comes from that essence. And so with that, I am deeply grateful for the abundance and for this community and for the life. And for that, I simply let go and let God. And so it is.
So it is.
Yeah, you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm singing you. Yeah, you. Thank you. The people coming through.
So a couple things. So first of all, a shout out to Chris Assad, who wrote a lovely article out based on a story that I tell year after year after year. It's one of my favorite stories in the entire world. If you want to know what that story is, you can look at our article, or you can come here on Christmas Eve, because I'll be telling it then, as I always do. And sometimes, there's this thing. It's like, oh, you're telling that story again. It's like, that's the point. That's the point. Hanukkah never changes. It's the same story every year. The Maccabees lit a lamp. It was a miracle for 8 days. Christmas happens. It's the same story every year.
Rituals are part of this thing.
Can't you think? There's never anybody else but baby Jesus and the 3 wise men and the shepherd. It happens the solstice. Whatever your tradition is, we tell the story again so we remember. And we remember not as an historic event, but as an interesting idea. And so anyway, where was I going with that? Anyway, so she had that story. I'm going to tell the story. It's the one about in 1919, the Germans and the English sang Silent Night. Next thing you know, they're all playing soccer. So we'll have that one. If your heart has been touched in any way today or through this series, please do not leave without the benefit of prayer. You can see them. You can fill out a prayer request. Paul's going to do a prayer circle. There's lots of ways to pray. You can contact us during the week. We're happy to pray with you. We pray. The practitioners get together every week and we pray. So, and they said, I said on the prayer call last Friday, I said, let's take this Friday off. And they're like, no, we're not going to take this Friday off. I mean, the Friday after Christmas. But what was the third thing I was going to say? Pray. Chris, thank everybody for what you have done today. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Mike Greeley, wherever you may be. Thank you, Mike Popovich, for collecting Ann and Kurt and Lynn, Julieta, and yeah, the greeters, anybody and everybody. I'm a little foggy right now. I'm trying to think things and I'm not gonna. And thank me for. Oh, thank me for showing up. Yeah, thank Venmo. Thank us all. I was Gary Richard. I keep thinking about him because boy, I'll tell you what. Talk about a courageous person, man. You got me this week. You got me. And so anyway, anybody and everybody who's ever done whatever, thank you. So on this solstice, this time of pause. Let us take this time to pause and contemplate the thing we love, how it expresses itself in the people that are around us, how it expresses itself in the community, even that song, Stand By Me. That is indeed the greatest truth that there is, that whatever we are going through, we are not going through it alone, that we are all seen, celebrated, served in every way. And my blessing, my prayer for today is the blessing, like every day, just as I saw that incredible heron fly over this morning. I don't know what it symbolizes, except that it brought me incredible joy. And it surprised me, it amazed me, it filled me with incredible reverence. And so may that same experience be yours today. May something surprise you, bring you to amazement, call you to reverence, and encourage you to service. And so we bless it all. We give thanks. We let it be. And so it is.
All right. So Andrea asked me to play this again this week. This is my original Christmas song that I wrote when I was about 20 years old, but Reverend Guy wasn't here to hear it, so I'm going to do this one for Rev. It's just about celebrating with the humans, as we should all year, but particularly this time of year. Well, I guess I'm down for the candles glowing and I'm up to hear the sleigh. But only one thing can really get me going when Christmas comes this way. If you think it's gifts, well, it's not, cause I got a whole box full of socks brand new. I wanna dance all night in the Christmas lights with you and you and you. Come on, let's step back, swinging like that with your candy cane and your little red hat. You know it's Christmas and I just wanna party. Rock, slide, glide to the side, say ho, 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 you feeling alright? You know it's Christmas and I just wanna party tonight. Well, I don't care much for myths as such, but I think I've seen an elf. And I know that Santa's real by touch. I danced with him myself. He was coming down the chimney with something to give me quiet as a mouse. Then, oh my dear, that night last year, a party at my house. And I said, step back, swinging like that with your candy cane and your little red hat. You know it's Christmas and I just wanna party. Front, slide, glide to the side, say ho, 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 you feeling alright? You know it's Christmas and I just wanna party tonight. Let's go and you know to and fro on the mistletoe now. We don't have to kiss, I just wanna dance to this. Let's go and you know to and fro on the mistletoe now. We don't have to kiss, I just wanna dance. Yeah. Well, I don't mean to be party crazy, I'm really quite good all year. But the mood sets in when the friends get in and the Christmas food gets here. Well, I don't remember a late December that I didn't dance all through. Wherever I am, I'll do it again. And now I'm here with you. Come on, let's step back, swinging like that with the candy cane in your little red hand. You know it's Christmas, I just wanna party. Run, slide, glide to the side, say ho, 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 you feeling alright? You know it's Christmas, I just wanna party. Step back, swinging like that with the candy cane in your little red hand. You know it's Christmas, I just wanna party. Run, slide, glide to the side, say ho, 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 you feeling alright? You know it's Christmas, I just wanna party with you. Just wanna party, I just want to party tonight. Hey. We'll see ya Christmas Eve, everybody.